Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. So we're still in the part that talks about al-li'an. Most people were here yesterday. Al-li'an mean cursing, li'an. And this cursing applies when basically a person will be cursing himself if he's a liar. This is applied when a husband accuses his wife of adultery and he has no witnesses. So that's a special exception because nobody can accuse any woman of adultery in Islam without having 4 witnesses. And 4 witnesses meaning that they've actually witnessed the actual act of intercourse, sexual intercourse. Not like somebody hugging somebody or somebody kissing, no. Or somebody, maybe the children need to go downstairs?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
خلي أولاد ينزلوا تحت. Yeah. You want to go downstairs too, Nasser, or what?
I know about that. Yeah, I know. Go downstairs. But this is for only the woman, the man, not the woman. I thought.
Sheikh, I just have a question. Nowadays, with technology, you don't need 4 witnesses because there's, electronic form of proof.
But there's editing as well. There's Photoshop and editing. They can put faces to bodies in the offices, right? So yes, each witness would have to see the man's or male organ in the woman's female organ, not just somebody laying on top of somebody. Okay, they have to bear witness to that specifically, to be a witness of zina, that this is adultery. Okay, so it has to be very specific, and there has to be 4 witnesses. So it's almost impossible to fulfill these conditions for the penalty of adultery or zina to be applied to anybody unless they come and confess. That's the other way. Here, this is an exception. A husband sees his wife in that kind of situation. He does not have to bring 4 witnesses, but there are very strict rules here. He has to bear witness by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make an oath that this is what he has seen 4 times. And the 5th time, وَأَنَّ لَعْنَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ إِن كَانَ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. He makes a dua against himself that may Allah curse him, la'nat Allah, curse, befall upon him if he was lying about what he is saying about her, what he's accusing her with. And of course, if she doesn't refute his claim, then the accusation of zina, she's convicted of adultery. But وَيَدْرَأُ عَنْهَا الْعَذَابِ, she may repel this accusation by doing the same. 4 oaths that he is a liar. And the 5th one, that she makes a dua against herself, وَأَنَّ غَضَبَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهَا, that may Allah have wrath on her, if an anger, if he was truthful. And if that happens, they are automatically and immediately separated forever. Just like brother said yesterday, there's no chance of them getting back, even if she marries somebody else. That's different from the 3 talaq, okay? And also, she is not then convicted of adultery, okay?
I just have one question.
And he also can deny if she's pregnant. If she becomes pregnant, afterwards, she wasn't pregnant before. If she becomes pregnant after this accusation, he can deny that this is his son. Go ahead.
It's a little off topic, but the question is there any, like for example, if 4 people conspire against, chaste women and then they lie, is there any safety for the women that she can save herself?
Well, then this can happen against the man too.
Yeah.
So 4 people can come and bear witness against a man that he has committed adultery, and the punishment is the same. Of course, the judge has to also investigate and see the circumstances, and she'll bring her witnesses. It's not just somebody coming and claiming and that's it. Just like any kind of crime in this world is investigated, this has to be investigated thoroughly as well. Now, we'll read the next hadith. There's multiple hadiths in this chapter, and each hadith adds some more piece of information. And Ibn Umar رضي الله عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال للمتلاعنين حسابكما على الله. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said to these 2 people who stood against each other, the husband and the wife, and each one did this mula'ana, this oath, these 4 oaths, and then this dua against themselves. He said to them, حسابكما على الله. What does that mean? He says, your reckoning is in Allah's hands. He's basically reminding them. This is a reminder. Don't lie. حسابكم على الله. And of course, he said this actually after they had finished. So which means that, whatever you guys have made dua against yourself, then this is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to execute what you made dua against yourself, and it's up to Allah. Allah may execute it, may Allah have mercy. That's not in the hands of people anymore. And then he says, أَحَدُكُمَا كَاذِبٌ, which means that for one of you is lying. And that's a logical principle. As we talked in khutbah, Islam is based on logic. They cannot be both truthful. He's saying that she's committed adultery, and she said, no, I did not commit adultery. One of them is truthful, one of them is a liar. أَحَدُكُمَا كَاذِبٌ. And then, لا سبيل لك عليها, which means that you cannot remarry her. لا سبيل لك عليها. لا سبيل لك عليها means you have no power over her. You cannot remarry her, and you also cannot force for this conviction on her anymore, because she also made an oath that she didn't, right?
No.
So right now he has no power, and it's out of his hand. He cannot ask the judge, here it was the Prophet ﷺ, to execute any kind of penalty on her. لا سبيل لك عليها. قال يا رسول الله مالي. He says, O Prophet of Allah, what about all the money I spent? Of course, in this marriage, he has spent money, dowry and so on and so on. He says, Ya Rasulullah mali, what about my money? He replied, he said to him, if you have spoken the truth, what about my property, my dowry, my money? He replied, if you have spoken the truth, it is the price for your having had the right of intercourse with her. Which means that whatever you have spent in this marriage is now breaking. But of course, he spent some part in this marriage before they got into this problem. So the dowry that he has spent, or whatever money he has spent to establish the marriage, okay, this is a qadr of Allah. The marriage didn't last, but you got to marry her and you got to enjoy some time with your wife, okay? So you cannot ask for any money back, okay? And he says, and if you have lied against her, it is even more remote for you to get it back, to get anything back. Because then you have committed zulm, you have been unjust to her, and now you want to be more unjust to get some money back from her, which will not happen, okay? That's one hadith in this matter. Next hadith, we'll read one more. عن أنس رضي الله عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أبصروها فإن جاءت به أبيض سبطا فهو لزوجها وإن جاءت به أكحل جعدا فهو للذي رماها به متفق عليه. أكحل جعدا.
يمكن تكون القصة فجاء بها.
أيوة. نعم ده اللي حصل يعني. So basically, narrated by Anas, Prophet ﷺ says, observe her. But, it was clear that she was lying actually. What's happening? Who's gone? Okay. It was clear that she was lying. Actually, because other narrations indicate this. First of all, the husband wouldn't have done this and went through all this for no good reason. Obviously, he had some kind of motive, and also to go through this kind of scandal and embarrassment and disgrace, right? Also, when she was being reminded by the Prophet ﷺ the fifth time, after she had made an oath 4 times that he is lying, she hesitated, according to some narrations, and she said, "La afdahu qawmi sa'ir al-yawm." Said, "I will not bring any kind of embarrassment to my people." Okay, and then she made the dua against herself. You follow? So obviously, if somebody is innocent, this would not be the motive. Okay, she would basically be crying that he's lying. It's not that she's worried about her people to be embarrassed by what she has done. You follow? But anyhow, Prophet ﷺ said, observe her. If she gives birth to a child, which is because her husband was fair in color, while the man he accused her with was darker. Okay, he said if she gives birth to a child who is white complexioned with sabtan means sabt shar al-amlas is one. Like the hair that is like silky or straight hair.
Fine.
Okay, yeah, fine hair. because he said dark hair. This is the translation is not accurate here. He says straight hair, white with straight hair. Her husband would be its father. But if she gives birth to a child with eyes looking as if they had antimony, kuhl in them, and curled hair, the man whom the husband charged her with committing adultery is the father. Okay?
So in this case, would that?
No.
Okay.
Still, she would not be convicted. It's done. It's done.
How about the other person who was accused of, like
Yeah.
the other person who actually,
Yeah.
the other man?
Yes.
Will he be punished?
No, there's no mentioning at all that he got punished at all. Okay, because basically this crime was negated by the fact that she made those 4 oaths.
Yeah, so it
Pop-
stops further investigation.
Yeah.
Once both of them has already taken the oath.
Exactly. Prophet ﷺ, when he saw that the child looked like the man she was accused with, Prophet ﷺ says, لولا ما مضى من كتاب الله لكان لي ولها شأن. Said if it was not for the book of Allah, this strict rule, it says, I personally would have had some kind of other. لي ولها شأن means that.
Maybe punish her.
Yes, I would have taken action against her. Okay? And this of course shows that Prophet ﷺ follows the book of Allah strictly. He has no choice, and it shows that he is a true prophet. Okay? What is in the book of Allah is above him and above all. Whether he has his personal opinion, he would give it up for the rulings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now,
What's about that child?
sorry?
What's about that child?
What about the child?
Yeah, who's gonna bring up that child?
He stays with his mother. If both deny, the husband and the other deny fathership to the child, he's not attributed to either one. He's attributed to the mother, and that's it. Now, yes, she cannot be convicted. She cannot be punished, but there may be some other rulings with regards to that, because there's another incident, different one, in which Prophet ﷺ did not punish the adulterer but the child that came. He considered that child, for instance, a brother of, because the child that came had a sister, but he told that sister to wear hijab in front of him. Okay, not to consider him as a real brother. So there may be some other rulings relating to those other signs that show up later, that this is probably not the son of that father. He's probably a son of another father. You understand what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So there's another incident, but it's quite difficult to understand.
It's not a blood relative.
Yes, it's not a blood relative. No. فأمر زوجته سودة بنت زمعة تحتاج من هذا الصبي المدعى به. Sorry, it was like an aunt. He talked to an aunt of that child that to wear hijab in front of him. Anyhow, that's a different hadith, not related to this one.
Like how if the woman sees that her husband has committed adultery?
Yes, that's a good question. If a woman sees her husband has committed adultery, if she has 4 witnesses, then that is fine. If she does not have 4 witnesses, this mula'ana does not apply. But she can ask for khula. She can ask for khula. Here as well, he didn't get anything from her. She wasn't convicted, he didn't get his money back, nothing. So the final outcome would be the same. She can ask for separation, just like he went through the mula'ana and did separation. But this mula'ana is specifically if the husband is accusing the wife. Okay? If the woman accuses the husband, it has a different route. Okay? Only the husband, yeah. والذين يرمون أزواجهم. نعم. It applies from the husband to the wife. نعم. لأن الآية واضحة أن غضب الله عليه. The آيات are clear that it's talking about the male accusing the female. No. Stop here.